Chapter 14, the chapter about the Buddha. The Buddha cannot be led astray. For 6 years before the awakening, Mara pursued the Bodhisattva looking for an opening, but he found none. Mara was dejected, and his daughters, finding out why, tried and failed to make the newly attained Buddha fall victim to lust. The Buddha rebuked them with these verses. 179. He whose victory cannot be undone, whose victory no one here approaches, the Buddha, whose range is surely endless. By what path can you lead the pathless one? 180. For him there is no desire, attachment, or craving that will lead him anywhere. The Buddha, whose range is surely endless, by what path can you lead the pathless one? The wise are envied by the gods. After spending his 7th rains retreat in heaven of the 33, the Buddha descended on a staircase built by Saka, the Lord of the gods, and Venerable Sariputta praised the Buddha in this glory. The Buddha explained the matter by reciting this verse. 181. Those wise ones intent on meditation, who love the peace of renunciation. Even the gods are envious of them, the Samputtas, the ones who are mindful. The rare things. A monk in the time of Buddhakassapa died and was reborn as a Naga. Eventually, he heard that a new Buddha has arisen in the world, and went and asked why he cannot attain rebirth as a human even after so long a time. This was the Buddha's reply. 182. It is rare to be born human. Rare is the life of the mortals. It is rare to hear true Dhamma, rare the arising of Buddhas. The advisory verses. Venerable Ānanda asked the Buddha to explain how the previous Buddhas had kept the fast day. He explained that although they held them after different lengths of time, the verses they recited were always the same as the following. 183. Not doing anything wicked, undertaking of what is good, purification of one's mind is the teaching of the Buddhas. 184. Patience is the supreme austerity. Nibbana is supreme, say the Buddhas. For one gone forth does not hurt another, nor does an ascetic harass others. 185. Not finding fault and not hurting, restrained by the regulations, knowing the right measure of food, living in a remote dwelling, devotion to meditation is the teaching of the Buddhas. Money cannot bring satisfaction. One monk had gained an inheritance of 100 coins from his father and thought to return to the lay life. The Buddha pointed out that money would not be enough to support himself, and related the Mandata Jataka, which shows that no matter how much a person has, he will never be satisfied. 186, 187. Not through coins is satisfaction found for sense desires. The wise one, knowing, pleasures have little joy, much suffering, does not delight even in heavenly pleasures. The disciple of the Buddha delights in craving's destruction. The true and secure refuge. Akidatta was a Brahmin with many disciples, but he taught them to go for refuge to the woods and mountains and the like. Venerable Moggallana impressed him with his powers and declared the Buddha even greater than himself. The Buddha taught that those who take refuge in the Triple Gem find the one true refuge. 188. Many people, shaken by fear, go for refuge to woods, mountains, and to tree shrines in pleasure parks. 189. That is not a secure refuge. That is not the refuge supreme. That is not the refuge that will liberate from all suffering. 190. Whoever has gone for refuge to the Buddha, to the Dhamma, and to the Sangha, who sees with right wisdom the Four Noble Truths. 191. Suffering, arising, and the overcoming of suffering, the Eightfold Noble Path leading to the stilling of suffering. 192. That is the one secure refuge. That is the one refuge supreme. That is the one refuge that will liberate from all suffering. The person of good breed. Venerable Ānanda reflected that the Buddha had taught them about the provenance of well-bred elephants and steeds, but not of well-bred people. So he asked about it, and the Buddha explained the matter with this verse. 193. A person of good breed is rare. That one is not born everywhere. Wherever that wise one is born, that family gains happiness. Where the real good lies. The monks discussed what is the true good in the world. Some said ruling, some said love, some said food. The Buddha explained that those things are within the realm of suffering, and then he pointed out what is truly good with this verse. 194. The arising of the Buddhas is good. The teaching of the true Dhamma is good. The harmony of the Sangha is good, and devotion to harmony is good. Worshipping the worthy has boundless merit. While the Buddha and his disciples were on walking tour, they came to the shrine of Kassapa, a previous Buddha. One Brahmin came and paid homage to the shrine, but not to the Buddha or his disciples. The Buddha lauded the Brahmin for his act of faith, but said it is even better to worship those still living who are worthy of worship. 195, 196. For those who worship those worthy, whether Buddhas or disciples, with impediments overcome, free of grief and lamentation. For those who worship such as these, the emancipated, fearless, none can measure their vast merit, saying, it is as much as this.